Yung follow-up nyo, limit nyo lang sa follow-up sa... Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps. Happy Monday. Welcome back sa press briefing room dito sa new executive building. Today we have Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Good Monday morning to everyone. Good Monday morning to the rest of the country. Let me begin with good news. Starting next month, travel time from Manila to Cavite will be reduced to 35 minutes. The Intramuros Administration, the Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission, and the Municipality of Noveleta launched a boat transport system that will link Noveleta Cavite with Intramuros Manila. The ferry boat service is expected to shorten travel time from the current land travel of 2 hours, accommodating 100 passengers. More good news, the continuing agrarian reform program under the administration of President Duterte granted 128 Boholano farmers individual certificates of land ownership. The CLOAS distributed last January covers around 103.5 hectares in various municipalities in Bohol, including the town of Carmen, Catigbian, Getafe, Danao, Pilar, San Miguel, Sierra Bulianes, and Gindulman. Now, let me answer questions given to me yesterday, Sunday. Question on the Chinese cartels as top source of shabu in the Philippines. Well, it is because of this that the Philippines and China entered into bilateral agreements, during President Duterte's state visit to China 2 years ago. And these were, one, a memorandum of understanding on the protocol on cooperation between the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency and the Narcotics Control Bureau of the Ministry of Public Security of China. The MOU stipulates both countries to enhance their exchange of intelligence, know-how, and technology sharing on fighting drug crimes, preventive education, and rehabilitation facilities. Let me point out that the 6.4 billion shabu seized was because of information given by Chinese drug agencies. Now, there was also a question on the statement that the government is the biggest endo employer. The government is addressing the issue of contractualization in the government service. The Civil Service Commission, the Department of Budget and Management, and the Commission on Audit have issued a joint circular directing government agencies to review their structure and identify their much-needed manpower. Under this joint circular, those under existing job order, contract of services, and memorandum of agreement will only be renewed until December 31, 2018. The joint circular provides that the creation of permanent positions. The qualified job order and contract of service of workers may be absorbed by the agency to fill vacant positions. I was also asked to comment on the statement of Congressman Casilao, that the NPA may retaliate by arresting members of the Philippine government peace panels. We'd like to underscore first that the arrest of Mr. Bailosis was pursuant to a lawful arrest order. Now, as such, we should allow the legal process to proceed so that our justice system can take its due course. He will have to defend himself in court as required by law, and he will have to prove that he is innocent of the criminal charges lodged against him. The JSIG does not have any binding effect now that the government has decided to terminate with the peace talks. Curiously, it appears that Congressman Casilao appears to be privy to information from inside the New People's Army, and to me, he sounded like he was speaking on behalf of the NPA with his warning that government negotiators may also be arrested by the NPA. That will be a crime. That would be kidnapping, if not a violation also of the IHL law, because combatants will be apprehending innocent civilians. The peace negotiators are not combatants. I underscore that fact. And they're not facing any arrest warrants, and only Philippine law enforcement agencies and the NPA have the power to effect these arrests. So the NPA has absolutely no legal basis to arrest members of the government peace panel. It is criminal. It is a war crime. It is the NPA that refused to follow the rule of law. Having said that, the President is committed to ensuring the safety of the government's peace panel, and our security forces are ready to perform their mandate at all times. If the NPA and the NDF are really serious and sincere in pursuing peaceful means to end their decades-long conflict with the government, threats of retaliation, real or not, are detrimental to the cause and will serve no purpose. We reiterate our call to the NPA fighters on the ground to lay down their arms and return to the fold of the law. Okay, questions?
Question? Nestor Corrales?
Morning, Sec.
Yes, Nestor.
Hi, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Sir, just on the South China Sea, an Inquirer story published today shows that China is almost done with its militarization of the 7 reefs claimed by the Philippines in the disputed waterway. Photos shown taken from June to December last year. Sir, what will be the next move of the government since China continues to be aggressive in the disputed sea despite talks of non-militarization and self-restraint?
Again, I'd like to say that your question is misleading, and I will speak closely so that we understand each other. Those islands were reclaimed during even the time of the former administration. They were completed, in fact, during the time of the previous administration. And I think, whether or not we liked it, they intended to use them as military bases. No? So what do you want us to say? All that we could do is to extract a promise from China not to reclaim any new artificial islands. But what you featured in your newspaper today are old reclaimed islands that were there even before the Duterte administration came to office. If the Aquino administration was not able to do anything about these artificial islands, what do you want us to do? We cannot declare war. Not only is it illegal, but it is also contrary, but it's also because it's impossible for us to declare war at this point. If you have suggestions on what to do, let me know.
But Secretary Lorenzana, sir, had earlier said that China had promised not to militarize any of its existing man-made islands.
I only speak for the President. I don't speak for other members of the Cabinet. Please ask him yourself.
Follow up, Philip Tebesa.
Sir, good morning. Follow-up lang po. Will the government file a formal protest considering that these are 7 reefs claimed by Manila and now turned into island fortresses by China?
In the first place, it did not happen overnight. I think the previous administration must have filed also a protest when it became apparent that they were going to be used as military bases. So, you know, when I saw the headline, yes, it's a fact, perhaps, but is that news? I don't think so. I think the moment that they started reclamation, they declared that they will use it, they will have military facilities into the islands.
Sir, one analyst is saying that this shows in construction, it shows that China would soon have de facto control of that area of the West Philippine Sea. And that sabi po ni Associate Justice Carpio is saying that this could mean the Philippines losing 80% of our exclusive economic zone in that area, or 40% ng fishing grounds natin.
Well, I do not know how to react that. That appears to be speculative. I don't think there's been an instance when China has curtailed freedom of navigation despite the fact that they have weapons in these reclaimed islands. No? So, to me, I can't answer on a speculative question. We hope not, because after all countries that are duty are under obligation to refrain from the use of force that is illegal under international law.
Last question, sir. Nabanggit din po ni Associate Justice Carpio that to rely on the good faith of China would be like relying on the good faith of a thief that's trying to get into your house. And doing so would be, it would mean like you're in fantasy land, not in touch with reality, and that's not real politics.
This is a democracy. He's entitled to his opinion, but I would expect that next time we would read his opinion in the form of a court decision, because that's the function of the judicial branch of government.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, follow up.
Or as I said, he could run for an elective legislative position if he wants to make policy for government.
Okay, follow up. Ina Andulong.
Hi, sir. Sir, just to be clear about it, are you saying that you are trusting China's word that under President Duterte's watch, their they have, or China has not made any progress in its effort to militarize further.
I didn't say that.
But
We're
is that
relying on the promise of China not to reclaim new artificial islands and not to make further reclamations.
How about any effort to militarize disputed
As I said, this
islands?
militarization, if you can call it militarization, did not happen during the Duterte administration alone. It's been long militarized. And the question is, what can we do? And what did the past administration do? And what can we do?
But during
We could, right now, the posture of the president is maintain close ties so they wouldn't have any reason to use those arms in those islands.
what you're saying, sir, is that during the previous administration nga nag-umpisa ito, but how about during President Duterte's watch? Do you have a guarantee from China that they are not expanding further any militarization efforts?
That's what I'm saying, no? That as far as building new artificial islands, I'm talking very closely so there will be no miscommunication and making further reclamations. That is the one that is subject to the obligation of good faith. But our position is everything found in these islands were already there when the president took over. So
Sir,
let's
are-
not talk of a militarization that happened under the Duterte administration if there is such a militarization, which China denies. But let's just say that the intent to use or to station military hardware has always been there, even before the entry of the Duterte administration.
Sir, when you say relying on China's good faith, does this still not go with any maybe monitoring system to actually make
I think
sure?
pretty much that's what we can do. Who says we're not monitoring? I get briefings, and I can tell you we know what ships are plying where. We know about the work. But the question is, what can you do? You can protest, and I think there is a protest already filed even before. What else can be done? Well, we continue to rely not only on the principle of good faith, we also continue to rely on the general prohibition on the use of force, which is found under international law. And we expect that China, being not just a member of the United Nations, but also a permanent member of the Security Council, will adhere to the prohibition on the use of force.
Lastly, sir, sabi nyo you get briefings, you monitor. Again, just to be sure about this, based on the briefings, walang bago under
No new reclamations.
Duterte's.
No artificial islands. No new artificial islands.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, a follow-up. Mike? I'm sorry, RJ.
Okay, sir. In an interview last week, sir, former Senate President Pimentel Jr. mentioned that he will propose to include Sabah as part of the country's territory under federalism. He said, "We will contest our claim over Sabah, but in a friendly manner." What's the palace stand on that?
The palace has not made any pronouncement that the charter should be redrafted in a manner that would give up any Philippine territory. The language of the Constitution, be it 35, 73, and 87, provides for a definition of national territory. That's not one of the parts of the Constitution that the palace seeks to amend or revise.
Malaysia responded, sir, in a statement. They said it does not recognize and will not entertain any claims by any party on Sabah.
Fortunately, I don't speak for Malaysia.
I just need your reaction.
Well, my answer is there's a definition of Philippine territory in all our constitutions. It includes territory by reason of historic title.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Pia?
Sir, last week the president was saying that he wants the Lumads in Mindanao to move out of their ancestral lands and he would provide temporary shelter and stipend for them. Sir, may we know if this statement was an order? Is this a suggestion?
I don't
or-
think I read the transcript. I was not physically in Davao because he asked me to attend on his behalf the event in Ilocos Norte. I do not read in the transcript that he asked them to move. What I read is he will ask investors, no, to come in. And my reading of that is because you need to encourage economic activity in the Lumad's territory. No? Now, having said that, there's nothing inconsistent with that position with the provision of the Ancestral Domains Law because the Lumad communities could allow economic activity to take place in their territory, and of course, it is subject to whatever terms and conditions that they may impose.
Sir, that's one part of the speech, but in another part, he says in Bisaya, "We'll start now, and tomorrow I have something for you. Prepare yourself for relocation." Some IPs thought of it as an order and were in fact insulted by the remark. And we had an Igorot leader who's also UN Special Rapporteur on Rights of Indigenous Peoples, Vicky Tauli Corpus, saying that it's tantamount to ethnocide, that their territories are linked to their cultures and identities, and the president does not seem to understand the concept of how IPs view their lands.
Again, that's the exact same rapporteur that was responsible for the statement of the president. It's the exact same Filipina rapporteur who said that the government is violating the rights of Lumads. And the president's reaction to that is the ones violating the rights of the Lumads are the NPA because they are forcibly conscripting the Lumads into the NPA. In fact, the statistics is something like 80% of them are already conscripted by the NPAs, no? And they have no choice because they do it under the barrel of a gun. No? That's why the solution of the president is to create economic opportunities in the Lumads area, no? Because generally poverty reduction will empower the individuals, the Lumad communities, and will drive away the members of the NPA in the first place when there's increased progress. It is not ethnocide. He is not forcibly removing them from ancestral domains. Let's not claim a monopoly of knowledge of what the Lumad community's problems are. The president has been a long-time resident of Mindanao. He has said that in the BBL, he will seek correction of the historical injustice, which includes the historical injustice being committed to Lumads, because in the previous BBL, they were not consulted on the BBL, and they were themselves classified as Moros. No? So that is not the intention of the president.
So, sir,
what he meant, perhaps by reclamation, is if there are investors coming in, physical education, but it doesn't mean that they will be expelled from their ancestral domains. Okay. Ancestral domains tend to be huge. They're not like limited to 100 square meters.
So, sir, what's going to happen now? Will he consult with the IPs who he wants to move out of certain lands? What's going to happen?
The IPs will be consulted. That's a provision of the law. They will have to decide if they will allow foreign investors in to begin with, if you look at the law. So when the president has a suggestion, it means it will take place within the context of the law because, as I said, he's a lawyer.
And they can refuse the plan?
They can refuse if they don't want. Yeah, certainly.
Okay, thank you, Pia. Rose Novenario.
Ay, good morning, sir.
Yes, Rose.
Sir, ano po yung assurance ng Duterte administration na mabibigyan ba ng proteksyon yung human rights ng mga Lumad sa pagpasok po ng investors? At anong klase pong cooperation yung isusulong ng palasyo para po sa ganung hakbang ng administrasyon?
Ulitin ko po, no, ang mga Lumads, kung ayaw nila magpapasok ng mga investors, nasa sa kanila yon. Ang gagawin lang ng presidente, kung nais sila magkaroon ng mas malakihang pag-udlad doon sa mga ancestral domains mga Lumad, yan, tutulungan niya na humanap ng mga investors sa mga lugar na yan. Pero kung ayaw nila, hindi sila mapipilit. Dahil sa batas naman, kontrolado nila yung mga teritoryo nila na classified as ancestral domains. So anong guarantee? Yung batas ang nagagarantiya na kung ayaw pumayag ng mga Lumads, hindi mangyayari.
Halimbawa pong magkaroon po ng, hindi po siguro maiiwasan na magkakaroon ng mga protesta, ano po yung assurance na hindi naman, kumbaga, mababiolate yung kanilang human rights?
Alam mo,
pag nagprotesta po sila.
May doctrine kasi yan kung ano yung mangyayari doon, dapat may informed consent ng mga indigenous members. No? So kung ayaw nila, ayaw nila. So doon lang sa area na may pumapayag. Pero siguro, walang magkakaroon ng unanimous decision dahil masusunod dapat yung kagustuhan ng mayorya. Alam mo, hindi lang naman sa Pilipinas may Lumad. All over naman may Lumad sa Canada, sa Estados Unidos, at nagdidesisyon sila bilang isang komunidad.
Okay po.
Okay, follow up. Other issue, Deo De Guzman. Microphone, Pia. Salamat.
Mukha na naman congressman si Deo.
Monday, sir. Monday.
Monday, oo.
Good news Monday. Sir, question lang. NPA rebels o si Jomo Sison po warned the government na he would ask the NPA to continue the attacks on the government and kill one soldier per day until the government wants to talk to them in peace.
Alam mo, wala namang pagbabago sa posisyon ng NPA. Nag-uusap na nga ng kapayapaan, tinatarget pa rin nila ang kasundaluhan. So anong bago doon?
So,
Walang bago doon.
Hindi po tayo luluhod doon sa...
Bakit
gusto
kami
nila.
luluhod? Ano bang akala niya sa hukbong sandatahan? Hindi natin sila kaya? Manood siya. Ayaw ng presidente sana na dumanas ng dugo. Pero wag niyang tatakutin yung gobyerno na parang kontrolado nila ang teritoryo ng Pilipinas. Kung ang gobyerno nga ay nakipag-usap ng kapayapaan dahil naniniwala sila na lahat ng Pilipino dapat mabuhay na mapayapa. Pero dahil ayaw nga nila, nakipag-usap na nga ng kapayapaan, binigyan na nga sila ng free passes, pinadadala pa sila sa Norway, all expense paid. Patuloy pa rin ang pagpapatay nila ng sundalo. Anong mangyayari sa atin dyan? So go ahead, make all the threats you want.
No follow-up na doon, sir. Another issue, Senator Trillanes filed a resolution in the Senate asking for an investigation doon sa ill-gotten wealth daw ni Presidente. Any reaction on that?
Lumang tugtugin, lumang balita para ng sirang plaka.
Sir, sakaling magtuloy yung investigation, will the Executive Department cooperate with that investigation?
Wala pong tinatago. Ang tanong, anong dokumentong hawak ni Senator Trillanes? Wala naman siyang authenticated document. Sinabi na nga ng AMLAC, hindi galing sa kanilang dokumento at mali ang datos na hawak-hawak ni Senator Trillanes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, follow up. Rose na binaryo.
Ay, sir, good morning po uli.
Yes.
Sir, meron po bang nakikitang parang senaryo ang Malacañang na niluluto yung oposisyon na tungkol po sa pag-file ng resolution ni Senator Trillanes sa Senado sa pag-imbestiga ng like yung katulad po ng ERAP-like impeachment na may pagtanggi yung kampo, halimbawa po ni ERAP na buksan yung envelope, yung mga ganun po. Sa bahagi po ni Presidente, hindi siya magbibigay ng kanyang waiver para po buksan yung, parang may ganun po ba? At si ODO Karandang po ba, posibleng maging parang Chavit Singson nung panahon ng ERAP impeachment?
Well, unang-una, hindi ko alam kung anong plano nila. Ang alam ko lang, hindi sila makaantay ng 2022. Kaya gumagawa sila ng hakbang para mapabilis. Pero may sasagot ko dyan, gawin nilang lahat ng gawin nila. Pero ang presidente, as a survey show, has unprecedented approval rating from the people. So mag-ingat sila. Habang pinipilit nilang tanggalin sa posisyon ng presidente, magagalit sa kanilang taong bayan. Baka ang people power laban sa kanila, hindi laban kay presidente.
Pati po yung kay Mayor Inday Sara po.
Lumang balita na naman yan di ba? Election pa yan Isa't kalahating taon na, wala naman siya nabibigay ng authenticated document. Alam naman kami magbigay ng dokumento para pruwebahan ang kanyang mga aligasyon na hindi naman totoo. By now, he has had the time. Kung talagang may katotohanan yan, dapat na pruwebahan na niya, may authenticated documents siya. Wala, pareho pa rin mga dokumento sinasabi niya.
So, walang bago.
Walang bago. Kaya nga, nagtataka nga ako na nababalita pa yan dahil hindi na balita yan talaga.
Thank you.
May follow up? Other issue. Si Henry Uri muna. Sige, nasa na daw.
Magandang naglalagablab na umaga, Secretary.
Ay, magandang naglalagablab na umaga, Henry.
Sa passport lang maski sa amin, maraming nagrereklamo hanggang ngayon na dami pang nahihirapan kumuha ng passport. Banggit ninyo nung huling itanong ko ito sa inyo na mayroon kayong gagawing hakbang tungkol sa bagay na ito. Ano na ho ang latest?
Ito po yun. Noong isang linggo, may tinalagang tao si SFA na makipag-usap sa atin, hindi naman sumipot. So, ang alam ko po ngayon, nasa abroad si Secretary Cayetano. So, ipupursu ko po itong bagay na ito dahil pati po sa Kongreso, naimbestigahan na namin yan. No? At wala talagang linaw. Yung sinasabi po ni Congressman Zarate, lumabas din po yan sa Kongreso. Dahilan, kaya nagpunta pa kami doon sa premises ng UJEC. No? At yun nga yung sinasabi ko na so far, ang malinaw, ang sabi ng COA, sa pagbase ng financial statements, mukhang insolvent daw itong UJEC. No? Yun ang sinabi ng COA doon sa pagdinig namin sa Kamara. Pero nais ko po talagang madinig sa DFA kung anong gagawin nila dito. Pero ang problema po kasi, yung UJEC is under PCOO. Kasi po yung printing yan is APO. APO is under PCOO, pero yung kontrata na ipasok is between PCOO and DFA. So I will pursue the matter with Secretary Alan, and we'll tell him that his designated representative did not show up in our planned meeting last Tuesday.
Para doon sa mga nahihirapan kumuha ng passport, ano ho ang immediate na pwedeng gawin ng Malacañang dito?
Paumanhin po, pero ang alam ko naman, bukod doon sa mga mobile passport vans, nagbukas na rin po ang Office of Consular Affairs, yung passport office tuwing Sabado.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you. Ian Cruz?
Sir, good morning po. Sir, yung tatanong ko lang po, si Congressman Alejano, nag-file din siya ng resolution naman sa House. Ang gusto naman niyang paimbestigahan yung mga loans daw ng yung terms natin sa China, yung mga loan natin doon.
Hindi na po kailangan mag-file ng resolution dyan. Meron po tayong freedom of information sa ehekutibo. Humingi lang sila dito kay Chris Ablan, mabibigyan naman sila ng kopya. Sayang pa ang resources ng Kongreso kung mag-iimbestiga kung yun lang ang kailangan nila. Sakop po yan ng FOI sa ehekutibo.
Sir, sa ibang punto pa po, yung mga dating secretary ng DOH, nananawagan sila na ipatigil daw yung pag-autopsiya doon sa mga alleged or mga suspected Dengvaxia victims.
Salamat, no, dahil bibigyan ko ng linaw yan kasi may mali ata yung basa ko sa Ilocos, no. So, ito po yung UPPGH study, no. Ito na yung kinalarify ko sa kanila, no. So, using the WHO classification for causality assessment, of the 14 cases, 9 died of cases not related to dengue or the vaccine. 2 could not be ascertained due to lack of information, and 3 were diagnosed as dengue shock. Of the 3, the 2 others who died with dengue shock were considered as vaccine failures based on serologic tests, meaning wa-epek yung bakuna kasi daw wala silang nakitang antibodies. At yung isa naman, namatay after the first dose was administered, namatay siya 4 days after. So, wala pa masyado ring conclusive evidence, no? Pero totoo na dun sa pag-aaral na ginawa ng PGH, 9 yung walang relasyon. Ang issue kasi is, yung Dengvaxia ba ang naging dahilan para mamatay sila? 9 walang relasyon, 2 kulang ang impormasyon, 3 posible, pero ang finding nga yung 2 dahil hindi gumana ang vaccine, at yung isa ang isa namatay naman matapos lamang ng 4 na araw matapos mabigyan ng first dose kasi yung incubation ng sakit is 10 days. So parang ang naging teorya is baka nag-incubate na yung dengue, no? So ang sabi ko sa Ilocos Norte, medyo good news nga yan, no? Kasi kahit paano mapapanatag yung kalooban ng mga magulang, no? At ito namang expert report nito, ito ay pinag-utos, request ng Department of Health. At ako naman, dahil ako ay pala spokesperson, syempre sinusuportahan natin yung posisyon ng administrasyon na hayaan natin yung mga neutral, impassioned experts to come to their conclusion, and they have done so. However, I've consulted with both Secretary Vit Aguirre and Secretary Duque. We will have an extended meeting before the cabinet meeting today at 2, but I was told that I should announce that they have rejected the request of the physicians to stop the autopsies. We will proceed with autopsies because the UPPGH study itself said that autopsy may have to be conducted on the 3. Except that, ang sabi ng UPPGH, kailangan talaga i-autopsy within 24 hours matapos mamatay ang isang suspected case dahil ng Dengvaxia. So wag patatagalin. So we are flatly rejecting the call to stop autopsies. We will perform autopsies as they are required because we need to find the truth.
Secretary, itong autopsies gagawin ng UPPGH, not yung Sapaw, no? Kasi doon yata sila mainit, versus Sapaw, yung mga dating DOH secretary.
Alam mo, pwede namang UPPGH, pwede naman yung NBI. Now, I had a meeting earlier with the NBI director, and syempre, ang procedure, I was a practicing lawyer also before I joined government, no? And I prosecuted quite a number of murder cases. The autopsy must be done by a government physician affiliated either with a public hospital or the NBI. Of course, you are not barred from introducing pathological results from other sources, but courts very seldom rely on findings not made by government medical legal officers. And the reason is obvious. As public officers, they have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution and the laws of the land. And of course, the public nature of these institutions will make them independent and neutral on the controversy.
May last point ako, other topic. Sir, yung sa NFA naman po, yung mga...
May follow-up sandali.
Oh, sige.
May follow-up sa Dengvaxia? Okay, sige. May follow-up
Sige.
ka, Chona? Follow-up.
Sir, clarify lang,
Dengvaxia.
sir, dun sa Dengvaxia, tuloy, pero hindi na si Pau or si EFRE ang gagawa. It should be NBI or UPJH.
We're not telling anyone to stop what they're doing. We're just saying that we're flatly rejecting the call of the physicians to put an end to the exhumation because the position of the government is we're in search of the truth. We will resort to autopsy when it's needed.
Thank you, Chona. Iyan, sige.
Sir, ibang topic po. Yung sa NFA, sir, hindi na raw po nabibigyan yung mga retailers ng mga rice dahil nung NFA rice dahil ang priority daw natin, syempre, yung mga biktima ng mga kalamidad. And then, ang nangyayari naman po, dahil walang NFA rice sa merkado, tumataas ng 2 to 4 pesos ang mga commercial rice.
I was not authorized to reveal what the President has done, but the President has done a diplomatic initiative to address this. But without authority, I cannot yet announce.
Okay, thank you. Ace Romero?
Sec, I just would like to clarify your comments in a radio interview last Sunday. Sinabi nyo, tinanggap na yung third player sa telco industry. What do you mean by that? Yung tinanggap?
Well, kasi po, in-offer ng Presidente, tinanggap ng China, nag-nominate ng China Telecoms. Ang pagkakaalam ko po, dahil yan ang ninominate ng China Telecoms, tinanggap din natin, ang hinahanap na lang yung mga partners. At syempre, kailangan mag-comply nga dun sa Constitution.
But the DICT said it's open. Yung pagiging third player is open.
Again, I speak for the President, not the DICT.
O regarding yung sinabi nyo na baka hindi ma-meet yung first quarter
That
goal.
came from the ICT. That's why I'll find out in this afternoon. Alam nyo kasi si Presidente, every time we have a cabinet meeting, sabi ko na nga sa inyo, Marawi Rehabilitation, number 1. Number 2, third telecoms prayer. So we will find out what the update is this afternoon. And tomorrow, I promise to give you another summary of the cabinet meeting, the proceedings of the cabinet
Pero
meeting.
wala tayong parang idea bakit madedelay. Kahit basic
I
information.
can't remember the reason now, but I promise to give you an update tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you,
After
Secretary.
the cabinet
Okay,
meeting.
last question. Please state your name.
Ralph Villanueva po, Manila Times. Sabi po
Welcome, Ralph, no? You're a newcomer, no?
Yes po. Sabi po ni Congressman Alejano nung Sunday, you should familiarize yourself daw po with yung timeline po nung sa frigate. Kasi sabi niya po nung September 26, 2016, doon daw po na-finalize yung contract.
That's wrong. Ang rinireklamo niya, ang pinuputak niya, disqualified daw yung Korean company sa Korea. Saan papasok yan? Ano bang proseso ng bidding? Ako naman kung titignan niyo yung mga Supreme Court decisions on government procurement, lahat yun ako nag-argue. So ano ba mga proseso niyan? Two envelopes yan. Una, yung presyo ay yung specification. Number 2, yung mga qualification ng supplier. Kung sinasabi niya na blacklisted yung company yan, lalabas at lalabas yan dun sa second envelope pagdating doon sa tinatawag na post-qualification. Kailan ba kinundak ang post-qualification? Panahon ni Presidente Aquino. Di ba? Ang ginawa lang ng administrasyon nito, Agosto, yung notice of award. Pero everything in the bidding, natapos na yan during the administration of President Aquino. Ang sinasabi ko sa inyo, 9184, basahin naman ninyo anong grounds for refusal to issue a notice of award. Ang pwedeng posibilidad lang dyan, 2, patent illegality. Obvious na obvious. Pangalawa, kung hindi na kinakailangan yung procurement, paano naman natin masasabing hindi kailangan ng procurement? Problema nga tayo sa West Philippine Sea. Marami nga dito, sabi, militarization of the South China Sea. Wala nga tayong frigate. Paano naman natin pipigil yung kontrata na kauna-unahang 2 frigate na may missile capability So paano mo may invoke yung ground na hindi natin kailangan yung procurement? Kaya tumuloy nga yung halos ministerial na notice of award. So my suggestion to Congressman Alejano, he's my friend, but please don't teach me the law.
Okay, thank you. Last question. Raymond Tinasa.
Sir, habol lang dun sa Dengvaxia. Kasi kanina sa hearing sa Kamara, medyo parang nagbago na yung posisyon ng Sanofi at hindi na raw sila mag-reimburse doon sa supposedly unused vaccines na binayaran na ng gobyerno. So parang lumakas yata yung loob nila after ng release ng report ng expert panel.
Huwag po silang lumakas ang loob dahil hindi pa po tapos ang usapin. May VACC complaint na election offense yung ginawa nila. Mayroong reklamo na hindi sila nag-disclose fully kung ano yung side effect ng bakuna. So hindi po ibig sabihin na yung finding ng PGH ay nagsasabi na Siam ay walang kinalaman sa Dengvaxia, wala na silang pananagutan. Marami pa pong posibleng pananagutan. Pag napatunayan na alam nila yung side effect, di nila dinisclose, nako, napakalaking danyos po pwede nilang bayaran, hindi lang yung full reimbursement. They must be dreaming if they think they're off the hook. Pinatatapos lang natin ang investigasyon. Everyone please, the investigation is ongoing. Even the UPPGH study will be forwarded to the NBI so that they can conclude their investigation. Let us not make any conclusion either way. And I'm also appealing to even some members of the government. No? Wala pa pong final finding ang NBI. Antayin po natin yan. No one is responsible and yet no one is off the hook at this stage. Dream on, Sanofi.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Follow up? Microphone. Last question na to. Ian. Wait.
May ipa-file nga daw po yung VACC tungkol din
Sinabi naman nila yon, di ba?
Parang ngayon
yung
daw
election
po yun.
offense. Sinabi na nila yun last week.
Apo, pero
tinanong na nila ako eh.
Ngayon daw po yung 2 p.m., sir.
Ayun, very good. Because I'd like to know the reasons too. Lahat naman yan maimbestigahan. Sabi ko nga sa'yo ang presidente ayaw talaga magpakulong ng kanyang predecessor in office. Pero kung talaga may dahilan, let the law take its course.
Okay, thank you.
Dami na yan kung may possibility. No? 3 na I can think of kaagad. Isa lang naman yung predecessor president. Ano ba kayo, no? Joseph. 3 basihan na kung meron matapos maimbestigahan. Oh. Hello.
Okay. Thank you, Ian Cruz. Thank you, Malacañang Press Corps. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television.